Hey guys, it's Megan. In today's video, I'll be showing you 5 DIYs to help you get organized in 2020. This time of year, I'm always super motivated to, get my life together, probably just because they put all the bins on sale at Target. But I figured while I have the motivation, you know what, we're gonna do it. So without further ado, let's just get into the video. The first project I made was definitely the easiest, which was this key magnetic bookmark. This is perfect for anyone who has a bullet journal or planner. All you need to make this is a 1.5 by 4 inch piece of paper, small magnets, and a hot glue gun. Start by folding your paper in half like this. You could get all fancy and use scrapbook paper, but I just used a page from my sketchbook. Then use pens or markers to create a key. In case you aren't familiar with it, a key basically just tells you what each color or symbol means in your bullet journal. I picked a different color for each thing that I need to plan, so I can quickly see what I need to do each day. And this might seem kind of useless if you're the kind of person who just will remember what color pen you used, but I am not. There's only so much space in my brain, so I just did this. And once you have everything written out, unfold your bookmark and use hot glue to stick one of your magnets to the bottom. Let the glue dry and stick another magnet on top. Put a little bit of hot glue on top of the second magnet and fold the paper back in half so that there's a magnet on each side. And you might need to use a little bit more glue on the second magnet. And that's it! All you have to do is stick it in your bullet journal or planner, and now you'll always be able to find your page. I left the back of my bookmark blank just in case I decide to add any more symbols. And if you're the kind of person that takes your bullet journal with you, I definitely recommend getting one of those multicolored pens. I know they sell them at Dollar Tree. I got this Lisa Frank one there. That would definitely make your life a lot easier if you decide to do the whole color coding thing. This next DIY was inspired by something that I made quite a few years ago. I made this hair accessory organizer around 2012 or 2013, whenever duct tape was a big thing. And I've used it to store my hair ties and bobby pins ever since then. It's probably one of my favorite projects that I've ever made. I put magnets at the top to hold bobby pins, and I store my hair ties in the bottom. To make this, you'll need an empty plastic jar, magnet strips, an X-Acto knife, scissors, and something to decorate it with. I obviously used duct tape. Take the lid off of your jar and place it between two objects to keep it from rolling around. Use an X-Acto knife to cut the top part off of the jar. Make sure to cut the jar a little bit higher than you want the finished product to be. Once the top is removed, use your scissors to even out any jagged edges. Don't worry if it's not 100% perfect, just try to make it as even as possible. Here's what it should look like so far. Now it's time to decorate the jar. I used duct tape for the original, so I decided to use it this time too. If you're using a pattern, I'd recommend using something that doesn't have to line up perfectly like the owls, because as you can see, the duct tape isn't super smooth on the owl version. First, put a strip of duct tape around the top of the jar and cut slits in the top edge so you can fold it over. The middle of the jar is the easiest. It's a little bit out of the frame, but really all you have to do is wrap the duct tape around it. And the trickiest part to cover is the bottom, since it curves downward. For this, I cut strips of tape that were about 1 inch wide and stuck them on one at a time. I cut a little square to cover the center, and then I moved on to the magnets. All you have to do is cut your magnet strip down to size and stick it in the jar. My magnets were supposedly self-adhesive, but they didn't really stick to the plastic super well, so I snuck a little hot glue under them to make it secure. And that's it! Now you have a super convenient way to store your hair ties and bobby pins. And you can decorate this obviously however you'd like. You could use spray paint or, I don't know, washi tape, something else. Definitely just get creative with it. I don't know about anyone else, but half the time my desk looks like this. It is always a mess. It's literally never clean. And I've tried storing my notebooks on my shelves, but they always end up back on the desk. I wanted to find a way to still keep them on the desk, but to have them kind of out of the way a little bit. So I decided to make this desk organizer. For this project, you'll need a shoebox, scissors or a utility knife, a ruler, duct tape, and a hot glue gun. Start by taking the lid off your shoebox and decide how tall you want your organizer to be. I wanted mine to be 10 inches tall, so I made a mark at 10 inches. I made another mark at 7 inches and drew a diagonal line to connect the marks. Then I cut out the triangle with the utility knife. For the other side of the box, I used my ruler to measure straight across from each point on the triangle that I just cut out. I flipped the box over and drew a similar shape on the opposite side of the box. You could just measure it like we did before, but I just found that this was a little bit easier so that I already knew where to make my marks. Go ahead and cut that triangle out as well, and then flip the box over to the back side. On the back of the box, I connected the point on each triangle with a line and cut along the line that I drew. And here's just one last look at how the shoebox should be cut. And just for reference, I'm using a size 9 shoebox, which the size doesn't really matter that much. I'd probably recommend using an adult size shoebox rather than a kid size though. Take the smaller piece of the box, flip it around, and put it inside of the larger piece to make the main portion of the organizer. You could stop here and just make this part your organizer, but I decided that I wanted a little tray in the front to hold things like erasers and post-it notes. Since most post-it notes are about 3 inches wide, I drew a line 3 inches from the lip of the shoebox. Then I took the main part of the organizer and measured the length of it and cut the lid down to size. I cut the edge off from the other side and then I hot glued it onto the open edge. I used duct tape to decorate my organizer. I like using duct tape for projects like this because it makes them a lot more durable. First, I covered the inside of both of the main shoebox pieces. I attached them using a little bit of hot glue. I put hot glue on the bottom of the larger cardboard piece and flipped the smaller piece around to fit inside. When the main part was put together, I covered the outside with more duct tape. I ran out of purple, so I had to use blue this time. Then I covered the tray portion with more duct tape. I only needed to put tape up to the line, since the rest of it would be covered. I put some hot glue on the uncovered portion and stuck the main piece on top. To finish the organizer, I glued on an extra piece of cardboard from the lid to help it lay flat, and covered any cardboard that was showing with some more duct tape. And here's how my finished desk organizer turned out. The top portion holds my bullet journal, sketchbook, and this Bob Ross planner. On the right, I put my iPad and my notebook that I use to plan YouTube videos. And on the left, I keep a bucket of pens from Arteza. You could make a little cardboard pen holder on the side of the organizer if you wanted to, but I just have so many of these buckets that I just decided to keep it simple. In the bottom, I keep some of my most used supplies, like post-it notes, tape, glue, a pencil sharpener, and some erasers. This next project was super easy to make. Basically, all you have to do is cut the corner off of a shoebox. It's the same premise as the desk organizer, except this time we're cutting off a whole corner of the box. This will be the base of the shelf. Make a mark that's 3.5 inches away from the bottom corner of the box. Make another mark at 3.5 inches on the other edge, and connect them with a diagonal line. Do the exact same thing on the opposite side, and connect the points of the triangle with a straight line on the back of the box. Cut the corner off of your shoebox, and cut 2 rectangular pieces of cardboard to fit inside of the shelf. Attach them using hot glue. Having 2 layers of cardboard will just make the shelf a little bit sturdier. Do the same thing for the sides. Cut out 2 triangles and use hot glue to attach them. To finish the shelf, cover the whole thing with duct tape. I use this constellation pattern that I found at Michael's, and I was worried that since this was the Michael's brand that it wouldn't be as sticky, but surprisingly it's actually more sticky than duct tape, which was a little annoying. But anyways, once the whole shelf is covered, just use some command strips to attach it to the wall. I like using the large picture hanging strips that supposedly hold up to 16 pounds. I've hung a lot of things with these and I've never had an issue with anything falling or anything like that, so 10 out of 10, definitely recommend them. Although this shelf is made of cardboard, so probably don't put anything too heavy on it or anything breakable. But this is the perfect place to store my alarm clock and this little massage thing. I also have this VHS tape organizer that I made in this video in the eye in the corner if you want to check that out. I keep my TV remote and my Christmas tree remote, which still haven't taken that down yet. The last project I made for this video is the DIY bulletin board. I made this big one in my craft room makeover series, and it's one of my favorite organization DIYs. All you need to make this is some cardboard, fabric, and a hot glue gun. Start by cutting 3 pieces of cardboard that are the same size. This time I made my cardboard pieces 6 by 8 inches, but you can make this as large as you'd like. Start by gluing the pieces of cardboard on top of each other. I've found that 3 layers is the perfect amount for standard sized push pins, but definitely test it just to make sure that you don't get pinholes in your wall. Next, cover the cardboard with fabric. I used the leg from a pair of my dad's old jeans for this one. Place the cardboard in the center and fold the edges of the fabric to the back, securing them with hot glue. I like to glue the 2 opposite edges, then cut the open ones at an angle to make it easier to fold. And that's literally it. Now you have your very own pin board. And again, I attached these to the wall using those heavy-duty command strips. I have this one in my craft room that I hang buckets of pens from using these little hook push pins that I got from Target. I also have some swatches tacked up there and a few random paintings. I did the same thing to organize my Cricut tools, except I covered this one with contact paper since I didn't plan on moving the pins. You could also use this as a jewelry organizer. I made this one for my earrings quite a few years ago, and this one for necklaces. This is also a nice way to store enamel pins. And another thing you can do is use fabric glue to attach the pockets from old jeans for even more storage. I painted this one using a super easy technique and spread fabric glue all over the back. I made one of these over the summer when the whole painting pocket trends was big, and it's held up really well in the 6 months that I've had it. I use it to store my DVD player remote. So those are all of the DIYs that I have for you guys today. Let me know which one was your favorite. Also, let me know if you guys have taken your Christmas decorations down yet, because I'm about, halfway there-ish. And yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos just like this one. My merch, my website, and all of my social media will be linked down below. And yeah, I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye!